Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Up. I'm Ryan. And if you've ever found yourself wondering where the day went or why you didn't get as much done as you wanted, you're not alone. Today, Priya and I are going to discuss something that affects us all: how to stop wasting time. We'll break down some common habits that steal our time and share easy-to-follow strategies that'll help you take control of your day. So if you're ready to learn how to be more productive and focused, keep listening.
Hi, everyone. I hope you all would be doing fine. It's Priya. We all know how frustrating it is to feel like we're running out of time, right? Between distractions, procrastination, and just plain old bad habits, it can seem impossible to stay on track. But that's exactly what we're going to tackle today: how to stop wasting time and start taking charge of our schedules. We'll share simple but effective strategies that will help you focus, get more done, and feel more in control of your life. So stay tuned and let's make the most out of our time together.
Now, before we get into the solutions, let's first understand why time is so important. We all know it's valuable, but do we really realize just how much of an impact it has on our lives? Time is something we can't get back once it's gone. It's tied to everything from personal growth to professional success. So let's talk about why it's so crucial to manage it well.
Right, Ryan. Time is often described as the most valuable resource we have. Unlike money or materials, you can't buy more time. That's why how we spend our time directly influences what we can achieve in life. When you manage your time effectively, you're giving yourself the opportunity to accomplish your goals, grow personally, and even find time for the things you enjoy. So it's not just about getting things done. It's about making sure that what you do aligns with what really matters to you.
Exactly, Priya. Now that we know time is valuable, let's talk about something that trips us all up: time-wasting habits. It's easy to fall into these without even realizing it. Maybe it's scrolling through social media for hours or jumping from task to task without focus. These habits can easily steal your time and leave you feeling like you've been busy but not productive. Let's dig into some of these common time wasters.
Totally. We've all been guilty of it, right? It's easy to get distracted by things like endless social media scrolling or multitasking, thinking we're being productive, but we're not really focusing on what needs to be done. And then there's procrastination, which is another big one. We push things off, telling ourselves we'll do them later, but in the end, we end up losing more time. These are habits that we all fall into, but once we recognize them, we can start to take control of our time again. So let's break down how we can stop wasting time and get back on track.
Now that we've understood why time is so valuable, let's dive into identifying what actually wastes our time. We all have those little habits or activities that, without us realizing, take away huge chunks of our day. One of the biggest time wasters is procrastination. You know how it goes. You put things off thinking you'll do it later, but then later never really comes. Instead of tackling tasks head-on, you end up delaying them until the last minute. And what happens? You rush, get stressed, and still don't do your best work. It's a cycle that wastes both time and energy.
Absolutely, Ryan. Another major time waster is excessive screen time. We all know how easy it is to get lost in our phones or computers. Whether it's scrolling through social media, watching endless videos, or getting caught in online discussions, it feels like just a few minutes here and there, but in reality, it adds up quickly. These little distractions can easily eat away at an hour or even more without us realizing how much time has passed. It's not just about wasting time. It's also about how much focus we lose during these distractions.
Exactly, Priya. And let's not forget poor planning. You might think you're staying busy, but if you're not planning your day properly, you could be wasting time jumping from one unimportant task to another. Without a clear plan, you end up wasting energy figuring out what to do next, or getting sidetracked by tasks that aren't essential. And in the end, it's not about how much time you spend, it's about how effectively you spend that time. Without planning, it's like trying to drive somewhere without a map. You'll just get lost along the way.
That's so true, Ryan. Another big one is ineffective meetings. We've all been in those meetings where it feels like you're just talking in circles and nothing really gets done. You spend hours discussing things that could have been solved in a few minutes or handled via email. These long, unproductive meetings not only waste your time, but also take away from time you could be spending on actual tasks. The key here is being mindful about what needs to be discussed and ensuring meetings are focused and efficient.
Right, Priya. All these habits, procrastination, excessive screen time, poor planning, and ineffective meetings are the usual suspects. But here's the thing. They don't just waste time. They actually have a serious impact on your personal and professional life. When we waste time like this, we miss out on opportunities for growth and success. For instance, procrastination might delay a project at work, which could cost you a promotion or a great opportunity. Similarly, poor planning can lead to stress and missed deadlines. It's like a snowball effect. It starts small but grows bigger over time.
Exactly, Ryan. The real problem with these time-wasting behaviors is how they hinder our progress. When you're constantly distracted or procrastinating, you're not putting your best foot forward. This results in a lack of accomplishment, and over time, it leads to stress, burnout, and frustration. You may also miss out on personal growth because you're not focusing on what truly matters. These time wasters can stop you from reaching your full potential, and that's something we all want to avoid. So let's take a moment for some self-reflection.
Yeah, Priya. Self-reflection is key here. Think about your day. What situations did you find yourself wasting time? Was it scrolling through your phone when you should have been working? Or maybe you spent too long in a meeting that didn't accomplish much? Now, consider what you could have done differently. Could you have set clearer goals for the day? Or maybe used your phone in a more controlled way, only checking it during specific breaks? By recognizing these moments, you can start making changes that will improve your time management. Now that we've talked about time-wasting habits, let's shift gears and discuss something that can really help you take control of your time. Prioritization. Prioritizing is all about identifying what truly matters and focusing on those tasks first. We often get caught up in doing things that aren't really that important just because they seem urgent or we've been conditioned to think they are. But the key to managing your time effectively is understanding what should be at the top of your list. When you focus on your priorities, you make sure your time goes towards things that have the greatest impact.
Exactly, Ryan. The reason prioritization is so powerful is because it helps you stay focused on what will bring the most value to your day rather than getting lost in less important activities. Think about it. If you spend all your time responding to emails or attending meetings that aren't contributing much to your goals, you're wasting energy on things that don't matter. But when you prioritize, you put your energy into tasks that really move you forward, whether that's working on a key project, learning something new, or spending quality time with your family.
Right, Priya. Now, there's a concept called the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto Principle, which is a game changer when it comes to prioritization. The idea is that 20% of your tasks are responsible for 80% of your results. So instead of focusing on every little task, you should focus your time and energy on the 20% of activities that are most important. For example, if you're working on a project, the small portion of tasks that really drive progress should be your priority rather than getting bogged down with minor details. When you identify those crucial tasks, you can achieve better results with less effort.
That's a great point, Ryan. The 80-20 rule is a simple but incredibly effective way to streamline your efforts. Think about how much time we waste on low-impact tasks, things that don't contribute to the bigger picture. By focusing on the high-value tasks, you can reduce time spent on things that don't move you forward. It's about working smarter, not harder. And this rule isn't just for work. You can apply it to personal goals, too. Whether you're trying to improve your health or learn a new skill, focus on the small number of actions that will make the biggest difference.
Exactly, Priya. Now, let's get into a practical tip for prioritization. A great way to start is by creating a priority list for your daily tasks. You can use something as simple as a to-do list, but make sure you evaluate each task based on its significance and urgency. Ask yourself, does this task help me move closer to my long-term goals? Is it time-sensitive? Once you've got that, rank your tasks accordingly. Put the most important and urgent ones at the top. This way, you're always focusing on what truly matters first, and the less important things can be dealt with later.
Yes, exactly, Ryan. One method I personally use is the Eisenhower matrix, which divides tasks into 4 categories: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. This helps you see exactly where your time is being spent. You can then focus on the urgent and important tasks first and avoid spending too much time on the less important ones. It's a great way to visually see how you're prioritizing your day and adjust accordingly. It makes a huge difference in how productive and focused you can be.
All right, now that we've talked about the importance of prioritization, let's move on to another powerful time management tool, creating a daily routine. Planning your day is key to staying focused and organized. Think about it. Without a plan, you might start your day with good intentions, but end up getting sidetracked by distractions or losing track of time. A well-structured routine ensures that you know exactly what to do at each point in the day, helping you use your time effectively. One of the best ways to do this is by using time blocking.
Time blocking is a game changer, Ryan. It's simply the practice of allocating specific blocks of time to specific tasks throughout your day. So instead of bouncing between tasks, you schedule them in advance, whether it's a block for focused work, a block for meetings, or even a block for breaks. This helps you stay on track and prevents you from getting caught up in distractions. Plus, when you know you only have a certain amount of time to get something done, it pushes you to work more efficiently.
Exactly. Time blocking helps you avoid that feeling of being overwhelmed by a never-ending to-do list. You set clear time slots for each activity, and you stick to them. This way, you're not constantly deciding what to do next, which can waste valuable time. For example, you can block off an hour for emails, an hour for deep work on your project, and an hour for exercise. Having this structure not only boosts productivity, but also gives you a clear view of how your day is laid out.
And when it comes to time-saving routines, the morning is especially crucial. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. A strong morning routine can make a huge difference in how productive you are. When you have a set routine in the morning, you're already in work mode before you even start the day. It can be something simple, like waking up at the same time, having a healthy breakfast, and planning your day before diving into tasks. It reduces decision fatigue and sets you up for success.
Right, Priya. I found that having a morning routine gives me a sense of control right from the start. It's like creating a foundation for the rest of the day. Whether it's spending a few minutes meditating, exercising, or reviewing your priorities, that quiet time helps you get focused. It's easy to skip, especially if you're in a rush, but it's those small habits that can have a big impact on your productivity throughout the day.
Exactly, Ryan. And let's not forget about setting realistic goals. It's tempting to want to achieve a lot in a short amount of time, but setting unrealistic goals can set you up for failure and frustration. Instead, break down your goals into bite-sized tasks that are manageable. For example, instead of saying, "I'll finish this entire project today," try, "I'll finish this section of the project by 2 p.m." When you set achievable goals, you stay motivated because you're hitting milestones along the way. Plus, it's a lot less overwhelming than looking at a giant, unachievable task.
Absolutely, Priya. When you set small, realistic goals, you build momentum. Each little win boosts your confidence and helps you stay on track. It also makes it easier to adjust if something unexpected comes up. Let's say you don't quite finish the task you set for the day. That's okay. By setting small, manageable goals, you're still moving forward without overwhelming yourself. And that's really the key to creating a time-saving routine. Being intentional with your time, having a clear structure, and setting goals that are within reach. Now that we've talked about structuring your day and creating a solid routine, let's dive into something that trips up a lot of people: procrastination. We've all been there, putting things off until the last minute. But why do we procrastinate in the first place? There are a few common reasons, like fear of failure, lack of motivation, or even perfectionism. Sometimes we avoid tasks because we're worried about not doing them perfectly, or maybe we just feel overwhelmed. But the thing is, procrastination only traps us in cycles of stress and wasted time.
Absolutely, Ryan. Procrastination often comes from an emotional response to tasks. For example, if we're afraid we won't do something well, we might avoid it altogether. Or maybe we're just not feeling motivated. So we keep telling ourselves we'll get to it later, but the longer we put it off, the bigger the task feels and the harder it becomes to start. This creates a cycle where we avoid the task, and it just builds up, adding unnecessary stress and wasting precious time.
Exactly. One way to break this cycle is by using a simple technique called the 2-minute rule. The idea is simple. If a task will take less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This can be as simple as replying to an email, making a quick phone call, or organizing a small pile of papers. When you knock out small tasks quickly, you prevent them from piling up and making your day feel more chaotic. Plus, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, which can motivate you to tackle bigger tasks.
That's such a great tip, Ryan. And it's not just about getting small tasks done. The 2-minute rule works because it helps you build momentum. Once you complete a quick task, you start feeling more productive, which makes it easier to take on bigger things. It's all about breaking the inertia. And you'd be surprised at how many tasks can actually be done in 2 minutes or less. By knocking out these quick tasks, you clear up mental space, so when you move on to larger tasks, you're not feeling overwhelmed by a long to-do list.
Exactly. Another trick to overcoming procrastination is to break larger tasks into smaller, more manageable pieces. It's easy to feel paralyzed by a big task, like writing a report or cleaning your entire house, because they seem like huge mountains to climb. But if you break those tasks into smaller steps, they become more approachable. For example, if you're writing a report, don't think of it as one massive task. Instead, focus on completing one section at a time, or just writing for 15 minutes at a time. That way, the task seems less intimidating, and you're more likely to start.
Yes, breaking tasks down really helps reduce that overwhelming feeling, Ryan. And it also gives you a clear sense of progress. Each small step you complete brings you closer to finishing the entire task. And don't forget, those small steps don't have to be perfect. Just getting started is the hardest part. Once you've started, the momentum will carry you through. This method works because it removes the pressure of having to complete the whole task at once, making it easier to begin and, ultimately, easier to finish.
Now that we've covered strategies like creating routines and eliminating procrastination, let's talk about how technology can actually help us manage our time better. We often think of technology as a time waster, but when used correctly, it can be a game changer. There are so many apps and tools out there, like task managers such as Trello or Todoist, that can help us stay organized and on top of our to-do lists. These tools let you break down tasks, set deadlines, and track your progress throughout the day. The best part is, they help you visualize what you need to do so you can stay focused.
Exactly, Ryan. And in addition to task managers, there are also time-tracking apps that let you see exactly where your time is going. Apps like Toggle or Rescue Time help you track how much time you're spending on different activities so you can identify areas where you're wasting time. Once you see where your time is going, you can make adjustments. For example, if you realize you're spending too much time on social media during work hours, you can set limits to reduce those distractions and keep your focus where it matters.
That's a great point, Priya. But here's the thing. While technology can be a helpful tool, it can also become a major source of distraction if we're not careful. Notifications from apps, constant updates, and the temptation to check our phones can easily pull us away from what we're supposed to be doing. So it's really important to set boundaries with technology. For example, you can turn off non-essential notifications, use apps in focus mode, or set specific times during the day to check emails or social media rather than letting them interrupt your flow every few minutes.
Absolutely. Setting boundaries is key to keeping technology from becoming a time waster. You need to be intentional about when and how you use technology, especially when it comes to staying productive. But let's not forget, there are also techniques like the Pomodoro technique that can help boost productivity while using technology. The Pomodoro technique is simple. You work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. There are plenty of apps that help you follow this method, like Focus Booster or Be Focused. This helps you stay focused during work sessions and gives you a regular break to recharge, which prevents burnout and keeps your energy levels up.
That's a great tip, Priya. The Pomodoro technique is all about balancing focus with rest. By using these tech tools in the right way, whether it's task managers, time trackers, or the Pomodoro method, you can actually get more done without feeling overwhelmed. It's all about using technology to support your time management, not letting it take over. And if you're mindful about how and when you use it, technology can really be a powerful ally in boosting your productivity. Finally, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked when we're focused on time management, making time for yourself. It might sound counterintuitive, but taking breaks and caring for yourself is crucial for long-term productivity. When we're constantly working or hustling without taking time to recharge, we actually become less efficient. Simple things like exercising, taking breaks, or just resting can help you come back to your tasks with more energy and focus. In fact, studies show that regular breaks and self-care practices can significantly improve your concentration and overall productivity.
Yes, Ryan. I completely agree. Self-care is essential because it helps maintain not just physical health, but mental health as well. When we're always working, we're at risk of burnout. Taking time for ourselves allows us to relax, reflect, and re-energize. It might be something as simple as a walk outside, reading a book, or even spending time with family and friends. These moments are just as important as our work time because they contribute to our overall well-being, making us more productive in the long run.
Exactly, Priya. And it's not just about the time we spend resting, but also about setting clear boundaries in our daily lives. We often find ourselves saying yes to too many things or agreeing to commitments that drain our time and energy. It's important to learn to say no when necessary. Setting boundaries means protecting your time and knowing that it's okay to say no to things that don't align with your priorities. It's about being intentional with how you spend your time and ensuring it reflects your goals and well-being.
That's a really important point, Ryan. Setting boundaries isn't just about saying no to others. It's also about saying no to distractions and negative habits. For instance, if you're trying to focus on a project, it's important to protect that time and not let small distractions eat it up. Saying no can be tough, but it's necessary to safeguard your personal time and your goals. And in the long run, this boundary setting helps create a better work-life balance.
And that balance is key, isn't it? Achieving a healthy work-life balance doesn't happen overnight, but effective time management can really help. By managing your time wisely, you can allocate enough space for work, personal growth, relaxation, and socializing. This balance contributes to a much more fulfilling and satisfying life. When you take care of yourself, set boundaries, and manage your time well, it all comes together to give you more peace of mind and long-term happiness.
Absolutely. And the best part is, once you start managing your time better, you'll feel more in control of your life. You'll have the energy to tackle work and personal goals while still having time to relax and enjoy life's little moments. Remember, time for yourself isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for maintaining both productivity and happiness.